Assalamu alaikum, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, assalatu wassalamu ala Rasulul Kareem. Let's get the show on the road. Take it away, Sheikh Ahmed Amir, rahimullah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من جاء بالحسنة فله عشر أمثالها ومن جاء بالسيئة فلا يجزى إلا مثلها وهم لا يظلمون. قل إنني هداني ربي إلى صراط مستقيم دينا قيما ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. قل أغير الله أبغي ربا وهو رب كل شيء ولا تكسب كل نفس إلا عليها ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى ثم إلى ربكم مرجعكم فينبئكم بما كنتم فيه تختلفون. وهو الذي جعلكم خلائف الأرض ورفع بعضكم فوق بعض درجات ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم إن ربك سريع العقاب وإنه لغفور رحيم. صدق الله العظيم.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another Darun show. I'm Captain Kate.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I am Darun Mac.
Salam. Yeah, that I remember. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And they call it Professor Gray nowadays, you know. Yeah, almost.
Almost there.
I need
Almost
another haircut.
completely there.
I need another
Kalam,
haircut.
why did you stutter and stumble just to remember your name?
I forgot who I was, you know. I'm a man of multiple identities. I didn't know who it was that I was.
That's it. Yeah. You have too many personalities, brother. Too many personalities. Alhamdulillah. Okay, brothers and sisters, get commenting. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If there's any controversy you would like us to partake in, we will be more than glad to do that, I'm sure. And there is one controversy that I do want to raise up. And this is, I don't know if you've noticed lately, there's so many different posts coming up about, attacking certain scholars, attacking certain activists, and then the supporters of those certain scholars attacking the activists, and vice versa, and it's like playing that in social media, in a big way, in some sense, I suppose. Any of you come across any of that?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's the age of the social media, the keyboard warrior age. This is exactly what it is. People feel very safe behind their screens, in front of their keyboards, to type whatever and to take on scholars or students of knowledge and to expose them and to highlight their mistakes and whatever. And it's just, I think it's quite silly, to be absolutely honest. I am with the scholars. That's what I tell you. I am with I'm not with these activists.
Not with the Haq.
Yeah, the scholars usually hold the Haq. That's the thing.
No, not usually.
Yeah,
there's many scholars. Like, for example, there's scholars that are legitimizing relationship with Israel. Are they on the Haq? There's scholars that say Sisi is a godsend. Are they on the Haq? No. So I'm on the Haq. You can be on the scholars.
No, but there's scholars and there's scholars for dollars, isn't it?
Yeah, bruv.
Scholars of the deen,
and then good old Faisal, eh? Some of you remember good old Faisal's dialogues. Scholars for dollars and cementing the thrones of their Saudi kings.
Hey.
Anyway, I was just thinking, actually, I know what you said is like it's an age of keyboard warriors and everything else, but to be honest, I don't see this as something new. It's always happened. I mean, the only difference is the medium used is different now. Whereas before, people would do it like, in circles, outside their events, in conferences or other places. Now it's just happening on social media. That's the only difference I can tell.
No, but it's also because it's on social media and it's virality and the audience. It's a lot. It spreads much quicker, and the damage is much
wider. I suppose it has a wider reach. But you say that. What is the damage that's been done?
Well, before you go to the damage, don't you think it's quite entertaining to actually, like, it's like a football match, isn't it? You're just watching like people arguing and that, and you got people attacking the scholars and the scholars then defending. Do you think it's like it just serves a purpose of amusement and entertainment as well? I know there's a serious side to it, but on the comical side, there are so many people, they enjoy that. They just literally enjoy listening.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of people that used to watching reality
and
TV,
following people.
Oh, Abdul's frozen.
Yeah, it's our reality.
Oh, he's gone again.
Oh, Abdul, you're freezing in and out. But we got your message. Okay, we got your message. It is for entertainment. Of course it is. People love nothing better to do than gossip and watch other people. That's why reality TV does so well. People watch things like Big Brother and all of these other reality shows that exist. So yeah, it is an entertainment. But I'm seeing I'm still trying to understand, and maybe some of our viewers and listeners can help us. What is the damage that's been done?
Oh, but let's get into the specifics of the issue, though, innit? Because people might not know what we're talking about. So there's this in America. It's mainly in America. Omar Suleiman is on one side, and then on the other side you've got this guy called Daniel Hakikachu. Now, don't mistaken it to Hachu. It's actually Hakikachu or something like that. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah.
He's a bit of an activist.
But you applied it, didn't you?
Sorry? Yeah. So anyway, now they had a common ground at one point in history. They both used to, like, Omar Suleiman is the chief of Yaqeen Institute. Daniel used to work for Yaqeen Institute, and then he left or got fired, whatever it is. But now Daniel and Omar seem to be at it.
It's not just Daniel and Omar. I think it'd be fairer to say it is. I mean, though there's a specific focus on Yaqeen, it's basically things to do with how particular scholars and activists normalize certain things, like LGBT things, or how they.
So we're gonna have a bit of a ding dong because I disagree. I don't want to have a ding dong. I don't want to have a ding dong because I'm not a keyboard warrior. I don't want to have a ding dong because it's Friday. I've got a big cycle tomorrow. I want to be in a good mood. I don't think that's what it is. I think what's happening here is that the fiqh of minorities, the fiqh of citizenship, the fiqh how to live in the West, preserving your identity, doing dawah to non-Muslims, engaging with institutions, civic society, how to navigate that space. There's a difference. Some people say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Other people say you can. So the specific issue here is Omar Suleiman was at a demonstration during the Mexican time, the Mexican border and all of that, and the children being arrested, the families, immigration, all that. He was on a demonstration, and he was in a demonstration with some LGBTQ PCBBC people, right? And what Daniel is saying is, oh no, by sharing a platform, he's legitimizing this sexual promiscuity or whatever.
No. It wasn't about that. See, you don't even know the facts. No, he said about his participating in certain religious rituals.
No, Azabah, that is a subsequent allegation when he dug out some material or some videos appeared. That was a subsequent. But the main
you've been watching a lot of videos.
The main argument is, why is he sharing a platform? Because he's not
okay. So let's take it away from the individual so we can have a general conversation about it. Okay, so there's maybe three questions that are being asked. The first question, let us debate. If you share a platform with someone, does it necessarily mean you agree with what they stand for?
Well, that's
No. What's your answer to that? Mine is like, it depends, because you can't give a carte blanche yes or no answer to it. So, for example, if someone shared a platform with, say, who should we say? The worst person I can think of is Majid Nawaz or Ed Hussein or people like that. Yeah, people who are unanimously known to be bad for the deen and against Islam and all of that kind of stuff. If I suddenly shared a platform with that person, the first thing people are going to say is, "Oh, why are you sharing a platform with him?" Okay. So that is a natural question people would ask. But if that platform is, for example, on a kind of neutral ground, and the topic is to challenge where they're coming from, or they're challenging from where we're coming from, it's a debate in form, then that necessarily is not a bad thing. But often what happens is, if the platform is in the Muslim community, the community that they're a prior from, that they're ostracized from, okay, if you take them into a masjid and share a platform, then that is really bad, because what you're doing is legitimizing them in the eyes of other people. You're giving them an opportunity to win other people's and kind of mislead other people. So it always depends. So sharing a platform doesn't necessarily mean you've done something wrong.
Yeah,
Kalam,
no, I completely no. I absolutely agree. But going back, I know Azabah wants to be generic, but going back. So what's happened here is, say for example, you, Azabah Abdubai, me, and a queer guy, right, who's actually a political.
You're not allowed to use that term, by the way.
Why? It's allowed, no?
No, gay.
Can't you say queer? But they're LGBTQT, the queer. You can say queer.
Anyway, go on, carry on.
Yeah, and LBT from that community, right? We are all going to stop the war demonstration organized by Stop the War, Muslim Association of Britain, Islamic Forum Europe, all of those lot. Yeah, they've organized it, and we are. I have a community. I'm a community leader. You are, and he is as well. And we go to that demonstration. So the agenda is stop the war. It's not Muslim or Khilafah. It's not liberal democracy. It's not is there a problem with that? There isn't, right?
No, absolutely not. But if we go to that demonstration and then start drinking alcohol and passing alcohol around and passing it to the guy that's gone with us, hey Bob, have a beer. If we start doing that, then there's a problem.
That's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, that's wrong. And this is the point that Daniel's making. He's not making the point about that you went to this demo. What his point is that when you went there and you did something that was wrong. And to be honest, Omar Suleiman did. He did. No, Omar Suleiman, he issued a clarification. He had no idea that was taking place. He actually did say that. And to be honest, not a lot of people would know what was taking place there. No one would know that was like that thing with the water. Right. So go on, Abdul.
Let's go back to the notion of like sharing a platform. I think that term is a little bit outdated. It's not sharing a platform. The context got to be understood first. First of all, when there is a debate or a discussion, there has to be a neutral ground. And obviously, Azadbay, you mentioned about non-neutral grounds, and you do it in a certain grounds, then it can't be neutral. Yeah. It also, the stage has to be set. So when you have someone who's kind of like conducting it, it has to come from a position. If there are religious institutions and they hold a certain moral value, then that might raise some issues. But generally, my understanding is that, look, you need a platform where you can debate people of various different backgrounds and that, and you need to be able to debate and discuss that, because I think you have to win the arguments over. Just because you're sharing a platform with someone who's got a different preference. No, can I finish here? Can I just finish here? With someone who's got a different preference or different ideological background, that's what a debate is. That's what a discussion is. Yeah. Now you need to create those spaces where we can have those debates. And I think when people are arguing the case that, okay, fine, we were in a debate and people in that debate were like drinking alcohol, that's got nothing to do with the speaker or the guest speaker who's putting their point of view across, because they've got to articulate their values and principles in an environment which might not be.
No one, look, Abdul, what you're saying is common sense. No one disagrees with that.
Yeah.
But what you have to understand is no one is actually talking about that, because everyone understands if you have no control over something, you have no control over something. But for example, if you go back to Kalam's earlier example, if certain organizations, Muslim, non-Muslim organizations, organize an event, and in that event there's un-Islamic things taking place, then it's problematic. I'll give you a good example. Do you remember when Britain first wanted to come to Tower Hamlets the first time round? Do you remember at Aldgate, we brought everyone out and everything else?
Yeah.
We were in touch with UAFs and what was the other one called? Anyway, UAF and
United Against Fascism.
UAF and what was the anyway? There's
East End, United East End or something.
United East End and all of these guys, and we had a big meeting in the first thing, and they wanted to do a big festival, like have bands and songs and everything else, because the police said no, you can't demonstrate. So they said no, we're not going to demonstrate. We're going to have a rally and we're going to have talks and we're going to have speeches and we're going to have songs and everything else. Right now, when we were the organizers, we were also from East London Mosque and everything else there. So if we had agreed to that, then we would be capable of organizing something that had elements of haram in there. Okay, so we said no, we cannot participate. If you're going to do this, we don't want any of that. If you want to have a rally and just speeches, but there should be no music and none of that stuff. So you have to. So this is the point. Where things are in your control, then you have to do something. And I think this is where it gets personal. I think, the whole issue with what Daniel's doing, with Yakin's doing, and everything else, it's gone sour. Now it's just personal. There's not. It's just silly. They're just sniping at each other, his followers, their followers, and all that stuff. I just ignore it. But the wider point that is being made is, what is wrong with holding people to account? We do that all the time. And I see a recent post by Yasser Qadi, actually, where he was saying, look, there's no perfect person. Only the Prophet ﷺ was Masoom, and after that, everyone was like, they had their problems. And if you look at our Khilafas and Khalifs and the people we hold up as heroes in their private life, they've done a lot of things that we would kind of frown upon, which is all true, right? So the reason he raised that is like, just because America, there's an election coming up, just because some American Muslims are kind of promoting a particular, I think Biden, they're pushing, I think he's the Democrat, isn't it? So they're pushing him. So just because they're doing that doesn't mean they're saying Biden is all good and he's not done anything wrong. They're just saying, for that moment, he's he's the right person. He's better than Trump. Okay. Now, some people would say, no, don't agree with that. Okay, he isn't better than Trump because, right, Trump, like, Biden, they're the same thing, because they're just individual faces of a bigger system that does the same harm. Okay, so like the best comparison is if you look at Bush's time, Obama's time, and Trump's time. Okay, all three of them, they've done the same thing in the Muslim community. Actually, other than Trump, he's actually started less wars. Okay, he's not started any new wars.
No, he hasn't got abroad at all.
Whether the other two have, right? And he's actually, Obama has actually killed more Muslims. He got a Nobel Peace Prize for killing Muslims, right? Using drones. So it's about having the ability to say, no, that's wrong. Why do you don't have to have the option. Okay, why can't you say, no, you shouldn't participate, you shouldn't get your hands dirty, and you should try to find any other alternative. So that's a valid opinion. Now, the problem here isn't for people having opinions, is how it's presented. So now, if I attacked you, Abdul, and I said, oh, you're a sellout, you're doing this, you're doing that, then your back's going to go up and you're going to forget about what I'm saying and you're going to attack me back. And that's the problem, the language that's used, rather than, holding people to account.
No, I agree with you, but look, I think there's a couple of issues here. Number one, the first thing here is that people have to stay in their lane. And so when scholars are talking about navigating in society and the fiqh of politics, the fiqh of citizenship, and you're not a scholar, you're not even like a student of knowledge, you're not regarded as somebody who can actually speak in this with legitimacy, then you should recognize with authority. You should recognize.
But that works both ways, though, doesn't it, Kalam? When a scholar like Yasser Qadi speaks about politics, he should stay in his line, right? He's not a politician. Why is he talking about politics for? When a scholar, endorses a political candidate, they should stay in their lane, right? Because they don't know anything about politics. So it works both ways. You can't. I don't disagree with it. I don't disagree with it.
I disagree with the fundamental premise that basically different professional people can't engage or do not understand the politics. I mean, politics.
You can engage, but to have authority. Look, Kalam's point is very valid. Like, so when it comes to, say, fiqh, you're not going to go to a politician, right? You're not going to go to the mayor of Tower Hamlets and ask him, has my wudu been broken because of this happened? No, you're going to go to a scholar, because that is his profession. Okay, and when you want political analysis, you're not going to go to the Imam of East London Mosque, right? Are you? You're going to go to someone whose profession is political, who's a political analyst, right? Because that's their profession. So both sides have to stay in their lane.
The problem here is like some people, Yasser Qadi or Omar Suleiman, or what's his name? The guy who wrote Muhammad misquoted, the English Muslim, the ones that Hakikatu and his crew are attacking, they've not gone in and written a piece to say you have to vote Democrats or anything like that. They're allowing the Muslim institutions to take that role. They're saying participate.
Like the Muslim institution that they've allowed to take that role is called M-Gage, and M-Gage is nothing but a apologist for the Zionist kind of strategies of legitimizing Israel. I mean, they are so knee deep. I mean, we actually they're into, you know, the equivalent of prevent in America, CVE, and the things that they're doing with Zionists is beyond belief. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about that group. I'm talking about ICNA, ISNA. In the American context, we, you know, people know
ICNA and ISNA, same thing. They look, even if you look, for example, when you have MCB in this country, say MCB actually never does endorse any political party, right? But say you had an organization that endorsed a particular political party, right? But then you would have ulama that will come up and say the same thing. Is that not true? Have you not seen that happen?
Yeah.
So that's what people are saying. Why are the ulama? Because look, Kalam, if I say to someone, "Oh, vote for the lefty loony party and everything else," people are going to say, "Yeah, whatever, mate." But then if a sheikh comes on, like who's got like a million followers, we should vote for the lefty loony party. People will listen.
I think UK electoral law is totally different. Yeah, in this country, no institutions or faith group can actually push or promote any candidates or any of the parties. America is a little bit different. The American political context is very different. They do it openly, and they have companies and businesses that do it as well openly. So the electoral political rules are a little bit different. So we have to probably look at the context here as well. Now, if I was an Islamic scholar, which I'm not, but if I want to know what's happening to the Muslim community of that of a particular society where I'm living, I would try and take advice from those who do understand the politics, who have got political insight, get their views, get their understanding, and maybe I will then say, look, okay, well, according to my opinion, you know, the best of the greater of the harm, the lesser of the harm, you know, maybe we should follow this way. We don't know in what context, you know, these sheikhs have actually taken their advice. Obviously, just because they're sheikh, they should still have an opinion, because they may be looking at safeguarding their community's interests, and henceforth they're making those statements. But in the UK, we're not allowed to openly endorse.
I'm going to election law. That's not the point here. The point here is what you just described now. So you as a scholar, okay, so let's just say I'm a scholar, I don't know anything about politics. I come to Kalam, I come to you, and you guys tell me, you know what, the best thing for this country is the Conservative Party because they're going to do X, Y, and Z, right? Or the best thing for us is Brexit, right? Because this is our benefit and everything else. And I listen to you and I think, okay, you know what? It makes sense. I agree. So then what I do is I start talking and saying to people, you know what? We should actually support Brexit. Okay, it's good for us. The European Union, it stifles us. It takes money from us. You know, our NHS will have no more money. You know, less control. All of that kind of stuff, right? Now, what's happened is now I've started to influence people. And
like, you know, it's not like ibadah or deen in it. This is politics. Siyasa, you can have a judgment, you could be right, I could be wrong. So individually, if the scholar could say, you know, vote Brexit, you've got a right to do that, because it's not halal haram in it. It's a political choice. So that's
fine. It's not got a right to say that, because it is a matter of halal and haram, and it is because it's about understanding your responsibility. No.
Halal and haram.
The reason it becomes that halal and haram is like if you vote for Brexit, then that's haram, bro. Okay, no, joke. Right? No. The reason I'm saying it becomes a scholarly issue is because of the person. Do you get it? It's like you know, you can't have it both ways. If I give you that much respect as a scholar, Kalam. Like if I give you that much respect as a scholar, and then you say certain things, and I'm always listening to you, then I'm going to follow you.
Well, that's it.
Why do you think people like Hamza Yusuf, Bin Baya, are?
Yeah, but that is the problem, because I was just reading recently. Actually, yesterday I was doing some research for my Sirah, and I was reading about the verse 1 of Surah Tahrim. Right, you know, in Surah Tahrim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the Prophet, why do you make haram that which is halal to you? In order to satisfy your wives, right? So that if you check Surah Tahrim, and so the tafsir of that is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was used to stay in one of the wives' house, and he used to stay a bit longer, and she used to serve him honey.
Oh, you frozen.
And the next Aisha radiallahu anha, or the daughter of Hafsa, right? So Aisha and Hafsa got together and they said, look, next time he does this, and he comes visit me or you, make sure you say, oh Messenger of Allah, we can smell some strong smell coming from you, the smell of honey. Yeah. And so they did that. Hafsa did that. Rasulullah was being a bit, he was late, he overstayed, and he came to her and he said, oh Rasulullah, you smell of honey, right? And then he said, I won't have the honey ever again. So then Allah revealed that verse saying, why are you making something haram when it's halal for you? Because you want to make you, don't do that, right? So that's the strong reason why this verse was revealed. There is another narration that says, no, that wasn't why the verse was revealed. The verse was revealed because Rasulullah was supposed to be in Hafsa's house, radiallahu anha, yeah? He was supposed to be in Hafsa's house, but Hafsa went away to visit her family or something like that. And Maria the Coptic, right? The Maria the Coptic, who was the mother of his son Ibrahim, he asked her to come over, and they had a relationship together, obviously, and then Hafsa got upset and jealous, and she had a little bit of a ding dong with Rasulullah, and then she said, look, don't let her come, don't see her ever again. And he said, okay, I won't see her ever again. And that's why the verse was revealed. Yeah, so that's a weaker opinion, but what the scholar was saying is there's nothing wrong in what the Prophet ﷺ did, right? And that's he's the messenger of Allah, he's a Nabi and Rasul and Masum and all of that, but he's also got human characteristics and inclinations and all of that. So when your perception of the Prophet is different to his reality, you're going to be let down. You're going to feel, he's done something wrong. Or it's the same with scholars. When your perception of a scholar is that they have to be better than the angels and almost perfect in their behavior, and they're not, then you're going to feel let down. You're going to
no. Whilst I agree to a certain extent, that's a very dangerous analogy, right? That's the reason I say it's dangerous is the Prophet ﷺ is that high. He is actually Masum. Allah has protected him, even with his human traits and everything else. Allah still elevated him and preserved him. But also his life is an example for us, and it's a teaching. So he's a special case. So let's leave him there. But let me finish.
Hold on. When you're saying his life is an example, I agree 100% with you. His life is an example of how a human being has to be obedient to Allah. And face all the challenges and face all these hardships and difficulties and struggle.
You're make me lose my thread. Okay, let me come back. Okay, now when it comes to scholars and everything else, there is an expectations. You'll find in the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, he said to many of his sahabas, especially those that were in some sort of authority, that I did not expect this behavior from you, that you should have known better, that you should have acted better, because there comes with certain things more responsibility. So for example, if I am a scholar, then immediately I'm putting myself up. If I study and everything else, and I become an imam and everything else, immediately I'm putting myself in a position where people are going to elevate me to a different level. Why? Because I have that knowledge and I have that kind of closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Well, that's what I'm professing. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not human. Of course I'm human, but my human weakness and everything else is private and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, but the population, the ummah has the right to look upon the scholars and see them as their betters. Why? Because the scholars are the inheritors of the prophets. Okay, it's not the Muslims that are the inheritors of the prophets. It's the scholars. So they have, no, don't. Yeah, let me finish. So they have to have a different level of adab and akhlaq. They have to have it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but again, and I think it comes to the same point. The scholars are the inheritors of the prophet, of the prophets in the deen, in ibadah, in adab and akhlaq, but not necessarily in politics, not necessarily in strategy.
No, but politics, Kalam, politics is just a subject area, okay? It's a subject area. Now, the only reason we're discussing this is because you said people should stay in their lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if your lane isn't politics, why are you talking about it? So I mean, I don't agree with this. Why? Because look, for me, the scholars, they need to be like the scholars of before. They knew and understood politics as well. They knew and understood economics as well. All right. So, you know, you need scholars who have both the secular and the ilmi knowledge, you know, otherwise they're not holistic.
Absolutely agree. No, absolutely agree. So when I say staying in your lane, it's fine. It's fine for people to speak about things, worldly things, of course, and you know, and they can be proven right or wrong. You can have a debate and a discussion. Okay. That's not a problem. But when it comes to the deen, when it comes to Sharia, fiqh, and that kind of stuff, usul, then you need to know what you're talking about. Otherwise, you're going to be misguiding people, misleading people. And Rasulullah warned about that. He said, people will go to the fools and ask them about the deen. And because of that, they are misguided and they will misguide. So when somebody who doesn't know the Sharia, hasn't sat with the scholars, hasn't understood the usul and all of that, when he starts speaking and arguing, then that's dangerous.
He's not speaking and arguing about the fiqh or the Quran or the tafsir. He's talking about an area where he is an expert. This is what you're not understanding, because he's talking about political interactions.
No, well, he's talking. No. He's talking about what he's talking about. So, for example, Omar Suleiman, I've actually read a bit about what he's arguing, and he doesn't agree with sharing platforms. He doesn't agree. He's got an issue with ISNA inviting a Christian to talk about the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Oh, this is gonna misguide the people. This is gonna make people and all of that. He's way off. The guy is way off. Yeah, he doesn't really. He is where you know who he gets to endorse his opinion. Dawah man.
Who?
Dawah man.
Oh my God, is he still around?
Yeah, Imran Imran is now talking about what shirk is and why Omar Suleiman is almost falling into.
That's it.
All right. Before you finish here, no. I've got something to say. Yeah, on a serious note, yeah, right. This is serious. Yeah, me and Ethan Hunt, we agree. We need a Tower Hamlet mayor. I want to nominate Brother Azad for the mayoralship for Tower Hamlet. Yeah, what does everyone say? Let's have a vote. Let's have a vote. Let's get a vote there.
Tell him it's 10 years too late.
It's 10 years too late, bro. You know.
I'm already 10 years too late.
You know, no. Andrew Gilligan exposed me, man.
No, because I feel those exposure doesn't, like nullify you being a candidate. Of course not. You know, if you get the vote and you win, that's what people want to see. They want to see their streets clean. They want a person with the right judgment. They want to see a person who can actually hold the clout and kind of hold people.
I'm actually honored to be nominated.
No. You got. We need to do a poll. Kalam, organize a poll, please.
Let's do a poll. So let's look. Who should Azadbai stand to be mayor of Tower Hamlets? Yes or no? That's the poll question. Right. Let's
simple.
Type it for him. He's not going to do it otherwise.
Can you type it, please? Yeah.
Okay.
I think Brother Ethan Hunt, you've actually hit the note. I mean, we can talk about it till the cows come home, but we need some action. We need a mayor now, that's going to actually really represent Tower Hamlet with all the destruction and like services that people are being denied and neglected, with all the youth clubs closing down and all the other stuff that's happening in the borough. I think Brother Azad will be an ideal person for that, inshallah. And we can also have Abul Kalam as the Islamic scholar advising him as well.
Okay. Can I just out to Ilyas? Ilyas is saying salam to us, and he made a comment. Sometimes the least political individuals have the best political ideas. In this case, it's unfortunate for us, the Muslims, we are on the receiving end. And then his next comment is, salam guys, I'm off. It's my first time. I enjoyed everybody's point of view. Salam. So Ethan, Ilyas has watched us, he's enjoyed it, and he is off to bed. He goes, there you go. Thank you for joining, Ilyas. Next time, stay for the full show. And then Mavis Zahid is saying, salam, guys. I hope you guys are well. It's been a while. And then he's like, after you've done Tower Hamlets, Azadbai, please come to Bradford. Listen, mate, when we
I love Bradford. Bradford has the best food places ever.
What I was going to say is, listen, Mavis, don't be offending us, When Azadbai is the mayor of Tower Hamlets, he ain't going to come to Bradford. Bradford's gonna come to him, bruv.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens. Anyway, so going back to the controversy, really the message I want to give, there's two big messages. One is, I think social media is makes it a little bit more viral and widely spread, and it's like America, UK, Bangladesh, all over hit at the same time. I agree with that, but I think it's also nothing new. I think, look, the lesson we need to take is not to attack the scholars or attack the activists or attack this or attack that. No, the lesson we need to take is, look, we will always have disagreements and difference of opinion on many things. If we can learn how to articulate our point of view without offending and getting the backs up of the other person, who 99.9% of the time is our fellow Muslim brother or sister, if we can do that, then what we will do is actually have a constructive conversation and debate from which something beneficial would come. Otherwise, all we're going to do is just be stuck in our own little camps. And because as soon as something gets personal, right, people forget like what the whole thing was about in the first place, and they just personally look how to attack each other all the time, and there's no benefit in all of this stuff. So I think, this is all I saw after I was seeing all of that stuff, and I was thinking, you know what, there's a valid point here, because we do need people to hold to account people in influential positions, people who put themselves as leaders, okay, people who go to meetings and represent Muslim voices and everything else. There needs to be accountability of these people, but that accountability needs to be in a way that is constructive and beneficial, not like just personal attacks and things like that. So that balance is very, very important.
No, it's important. And also, I think, you know what it is, people have to have the humility. We all have to have the humility to not be so stuck to our position. Like what did Imam Shafi'i say? Whenever I go into a debate or an argument, I pray that the truth comes from my opponent's tongue so that I can submit to it. Yeah, so this humility of like submitting the truth. And then the other thing that they would say is like my opinion, I believe it to be the truth with the possibility of it being wrong. I believe my opinion to be correct with the possibility of it being wrong, and I believe my opponent's opinion to be incorrect with the possibility of it being right. So, like obviously the core fundamentals are clear and everybody agrees, but where there are differences and disagreements, look, maybe he's right, maybe I'm wrong. If we have that kind of attitude and if we don't take it personally, that's only when we can actually move forward. Otherwise, people will start, they forget the argument and they start getting personal, and they start bringing in other things in order just because you've won the debate doesn't mean you've actually won the truth. A debate is like a tactic, it's a strategy. People learn how to win debate. They teach.
And also, when you come to a conclusion, many of the things, there's a lot of people that like things black and white. And in our deen, there are certain things that are black and white. Like there's one God, okay? It's very black and white. There's a heaven, there's a hell, there's angels, the Quran is the last revelation. There is a lot of things that are black and white. But there are far greater things that are not gray necessarily, that are correct at a certain time and may change at another time. So a kind of analysis that someone comes to, like for example, in politics and everything else, an analysis someone comes to about a certain person or a certain course of action, it might have been right for them at that time in their context. Okay, but maybe 5 years later it is wrong. So what you can't do is look at things out of their context. Okay, so for example, what some people, they will say, oh, voting is haram and all of that kind of stuff. It's fine. You can have that opinion if you can show how it is black and white. But if it's not black and white and there's gray area, then your kind of position is more, you prefer people not to participate in a system that is rigged to just keep itself going, which is no one disagrees with, right? So that's a fair point. But the others, they might say, actually, no, in this local election, it's actually really vital that all the Muslims and everyone vote. Why? Because there's all of these racist candidates that are standing, like the example of Barking and Dagenham. I don't know if you guys remember, a few years back. Well, it's quite a few years back actually. There was all these national fronts, British National Party candidates standing.
That was House of Dogs, Derek Beacon, isn't it? Do you remember?
Derek Beacon was Isle of Dogs. Yeah. So there was a good number of them standing. There's already a few of them already in there, and because actually the ethnic minority, the Muslim community, and everyone actually did turn out to vote, all of them got wiped out. Okay, they got taken out of the council. Now, does that mean the council has become less racist? Everything? No, it just means that the worst of them aren't there. That's all it is. So it was an analysis that was correct at that time in that context that was necessary.
Yeah. No,
yeah, I just like. Yeah, before you move on, I'd just like to say to all those brothers and sisters who are on the middle ground, who are like kind of watching these scholars and these activists having a go at each other. Yeah, I think we need to approach it from a mature point of view as well, because we don't want to become a spectator and watch it like a football match as well. We do have that. We also have a responsibility in making sure that we have a correct understanding or intention why we're engaging in those kind of conversation as well. If there's something valuable that you think that you're going to be able to learn and benefit from, then alhamdulillah, that's really, really good. But you also need to be able to make that judgment, because if you're just like, someone just following what's happening and, wasting your time, like, a couple of people throwing their banter at each other. Yeah. I'm hoping that isn't the case, because I haven't actually kind of looked at that as well myself. But we have to make sure that, like, when we're looking at these situations, we're also judging it correctly, getting information. We also verify our sources before we make our own judgment as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jenny's on the comment saying, arguing on the basis you may be wrong doesn't sound much like politics. ... And that's the problem with politics. It's so it's so polemic and so ideological that people kind of forget that what they're doing it for. Politics is supposed to be for the welfare and the benefit of society, and maybe and that's why there's these, aside from the extreme right, extreme left, there's the middle ground, because the truth is somewhere in the middle always. It's not
Kalam. It's very difficult because human beings have so many different isms, ideology, and all those are fused when people are actually making their opinions. No one can claim that they're actually speaking from a neutral ground without some kind of ideological or.
It won't make sense. In politics, it won't make sense.
Yeah, so this is why you'll have those. So what people got to do is look at the values. They've got to look at the broader structures, and they'll have to make a judgment on that. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was at university, and we had to study all these different, theories and that. And there's so many thousands of different theories, and even if you didn't know much about one theory and you knew a little bit about it, you had to utilize and use it. Yeah, because there is a saying: you're a sponge until you're filled with a lot of information. The question is, what filter process do you have, and what filter process is your ideological foundation, right? So we would claim to say, as a Muslim, our filter is our deen, our Islamic understanding. Someone else may not have that filter. So that's why politics is so many. You got far left, you've got middle, you got socialists, you got communists, you've got like neoliberals, you got liberalism, you got conservative, and everyone's got a perspective. Everyone's got their own ideology that they're actually fighting for. And we as Muslims, we also have it amongst ourselves as well, and we can't shy away from that. We have so many perspectives, yeah. And I remember 15 years ago, the brothers who used to come up to us and say, like voting is haram. They had a perspective as well. They had a perspective. They had very good arguments as well, yeah. But obviously, those debates have to happen. And my point is basically, look, accept there is going to be difference. The question is, Islamically, how do you tolerate the differences? What are the platforms and what are the adab that you should have in order to be able to articulate your arguments? Now, people will come from different perspectives, and they're entitled to. The question is, I as a person shouldn't feel inferior that because someone else has a stronger argument from an ideological background that I'm going to try and crumble. And if I am invited to a platform to go and debate and discuss, I shouldn't be afraid to do so as well. I need to go there to make my points very clear. That's the reality. That's the society that we live in. It's all about opinions. Opinions make judgments. Judgments then are formulated into policies that then affects the people that are living those policies.
And absolutely, you know what Abdullah was saying, as Abdullah was saying, oh, you know, during the EDL, you know, we were able to say, we were able to set the agenda as a community. We were able to set the agenda in terms of no, we're not gonna collaborate if you're gonna do a festival, if there's gonna be songs and music and drinks and all of that. That's not gonna, that's not comfortable for our community. Our community will not engage in something like that. You're not gonna win support. So, and the point is, like, you can do that if you're engaged, if you've got a supporter base, if you've got an influence. Like, for example, in Tower Hamlets, the Muslim community, the East London Mosque, the other, the voluntary sector organizations could do that because they're representing the values and the sentiments of their community, of their base, of their power base. Now, for example, if you're a small Muslim community in I don't know where, Windsor, let's say, you know, England, you know, leave England, you know, Windsor, and the EDO wants to come and close your mosque down, and then the non-Muslims, they want to support you, they want to help you. Yeah, you can have a discussion with them and all that, but they say, look, guys, we wanna stand with you, but we're gonna have a little party over there. We're gonna, you know, do some songs and a rave, whatnot. That's the way we're gonna support you. That's the mechanism. What's the Muslim community going to do then? Hypothetically,
you know what they should do then? They should still make the correct call.
Yeah,
they should still say, no, this will be uncomfortable for us. We cannot participate.
But look,
that's what
there is.
We cannot participate if they are co-organizers. You know, it doesn't matter, and this is where people make the mistake. For you to do the right thing, and that's why we're in this situation where. You know, every day people are selling out.
But brother Azad, the right.
You know, well, no matter what the situation is, you always have to make the right call. But in Islam, Allah has given us ways.
Yeah, I got that. So what's the right call? So this is let's build a scenario. So you know, this little community, the non-Muslim community, they want us to look, guys, we were gonna stand with you against these EDL people, and we do an event, and we want you to come onto the podium, and we want you to, you know, do your thing, but we're gonna also have X, Y, and Z happening. We're gonna have a rave, we're gonna have some drinks.
And you say no, you say no, we cannot participate in that. That goes against our beliefs and teachings. We cannot do that. Yeah, and you know, if your reason for being here,
like to go on the stage,
to have a rave.
But I'm not asking you to have a rave. I'm asking you.
If you see, this is why it's important. You have to, if you're gonna actually debate something that I've said, keep it into the exact same example. I said, if you are a co-organizer, East London Mosque was a co-organizer.
But that's what
this small little community in Windsor, if they are co-organizers with these people, then they still have to say no. This is not acceptable. I cannot participate if you do that. Okay?
Like they do their rave, so you can't.
How can they do their rave and you do your thing when you join the organization?
Don't you think we're falling into the
say the three of us organize something? That's a joint event, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's practicality.
So all of us have responsibility, and all of us agree to whatever happened.
So hang on. So, you know,
can I say something?
I might be mistaken, but I swear, you know, during the Iraq War in Trafalgar Square, there was bloody singers there, and then you had your MCB people come up second after. There was a singer there. There was a poet.
Callum. We're gonna.
I don't remember.
We are walking in.
No.
Callum. We are going to walk into the rabbit. We're going to walk into the rabbit's hole. Yeah, we're actually digging a hole for ourselves. I'll tell you why. Because
no, we're not. No, you have to be very clear about it.
Look. Look. Now, what's the key objective? The key objective was to stop the EDL marching through.
No.
Okay.
What
was the objective?
No. The key objective is for you to maintain the principles of your deen.
Yeah, but you do that anyway.
No, you don't do that anyway. Not if you participate in things that are contrary to your deen.
You're not participating.
Not only are you not participating, you're actually organizing it.
No, you're organizing a demo against the EDL.
No, you're not. See, this is why people have an issue. Look, just be very clear about it. If I'm sitting around an organizer table, and in that organizing table, they're saying we're gonna have song and dance, and we're gonna have, like, beers and all of that kind of stuff, and make it a merry thing. If I am an organizer and I don't object to it there and say I cannot participate in that, then I am responsible. Then I have done something wrong.
Azabah, why can't I, as the organizer, say, look, guys, our community won't be comfortable in attending the rave or being around in the rave. We really are grateful for your support and solidarity. This community, one Windsor, we appreciate all of that. We're more than happy to be on the stage and thank people for coming together, but we have to excuse ourselves when the rave starts. Why can't we do that?
Because when you advertise the event,
but we never did that. I don't think
advertising the event, you're inviting people to things that have been organized that are wrong, and you're saying to your people that you are happy for that to be organized. And the way you just explained it is from a position of weakness. Why? Look, yes, if these people were there to support you against the EDL, the bloody rave isn't going to be the most important thing for them, is it?
No, but
it's not. No, it's not. Right. So if you and this is the problem, that we operate from a weakness, a position of inferiority, that we have to somehow plead. No, we don't. You just say your thing. This is.
I think we need to get a scholar here. I don't see what's wrong with.
You don't need a scholar here. You don't need a scholar here. It's very logical. This ain't.
Sometimes logic means you wipe the bottom of your socks, but
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because tayammum's not about cleanliness.
Yeah, it is about.
No, it's not. It's not about cleanliness. It's not. And wudu is not about cleanliness either. Unlucky. Good try.
It is.
Simon Cowell says.
You might. So logic, but the point is, logic isn't the thing here. Something
I'm never sending you to any meeting to organize it.
No, but you might not do. But
very simple logic, yeah. Very simple logic.
Your event, not part of that, bruv.
Listen,
now the very simple.
In my experience, if you're upfront from the beginning, people will respect you. If they are genuinely there, like for example, if someone is genuinely anti-racist, they're not going to make the black person feel awkward. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen. They're not going to bring their white savior mentality into the game if they are genuinely anti-racist.
I don't think they intend to make people awkward. The whole
no. So that's why you need to explain, isn't it? So it's your duty to explain. If you don't explain, then it's not their fault, is it?
But what I'm, and here is the crux of the matter. That my explanation is, guys, look, we don't really.
Your explanation is not an explanation. Your explanation is like half-hearted. Like, I want to organize the event with you, but just note to yourself that when all of you guys start singing and dancing, we're not going to be there. We're going to be somewhere else. But I'm happy on the poster to have my name. I'm happy on the poster and call my people to come to it anyway. Well, how are you going to tell your people when the rave starts, don't stay? How are you going to do that? How are you going to tell your people when the music starts, you should be there? How are you going to do that on the day? You're not going to do that on the day. But because you're a responsible person and you organized it, you've misled all of these people, and you will be responsible for some of their action.
Like if they stay in the rave, we'll be responsible because they don't know not to dance or drink and stuff like that. And they don't know that this event is cool. And they don't know.
That's Imam Darun Mak said is all right. Imam Darun Mak invited me up here.
Imam Darun Mak said, look, we're going to hold an event with our non-Muslim friends, a non-Muslim who don't believe in Allah and the Rasul. Yeah, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So that means they're not on the same deen as us. They don't have the same halal and haram as us. We're going to organize this event with them. And the main purpose of this event is to show the unity of Windsor. We're against EDL. And then a part of the event is going to be, speeches from the top. And then there's going to be a rave. So that you're telling me the Muslim lot are gonna not know that the rave isn't really for them?
Yeah,
you know.
I think you've been to GPU. I think you've been to GPU and you've been at the rave as well. So
yeah,
you know.
GPU organized by Islam Channel, right? So you're against that. You look, it's all coming out now. I swear that when you were on the podium introducing.
Hey, listen, Kalam, do you remember? I just actually remember. Do you remember that picture of someone we found at the GPU at the rave? Oh my God, that's so funny. Anyway, we digress, brothers and sisters. Okay, so what both me and Kalam are saying is we're coming from two different positions, but similar. I think, you know, Kalam has a way, I have a way. It's not black and white. We're not right and we're not wrong. You know, it's just our preference in approaching this. But the point being that, you know, if we don't, you know, we got to stop being shy. We have to let people know how we think, how, you know, what we believe in and everything else. Otherwise, they're not going to know what's sensitive to us and what's not sensitive to us. Okay, I think we've done this topic to death. You need to read some messages.
We do need to read some messages. Okay, loads of messages are. Oh my God, there's loads of messages actually. So some people, Jenny is saying, arguing on the basis you may. Okay, I've read that. By the way, we also need Abdul to be back in the council. Jenny saying politics is life. And she's also saying politics is what kind of life do you want and how are you going to get it? True. Very, very practical definition of what politics is. Back in the day, many groups formed to support the miners. The mining community overlooked past differences and were humbled by the solidarity offered. So how would the Windsor Muslims react if lesbians and gays opposed the EDL, invited the Muslim community to join their platform at a pride demo against the EDL? Good question.
Yeah, go, Mac. Go, bro.
How would they, Abdul, how would the Muslim community, how would the Muslim community react if lesbians and gays opposed the EDL and invited the Muslim community to join their platform at a pride demo against the EDL? Pride demo against the EDL. You need to answer that.
Kalam, answer the question. Don't put it on Abdul.
No, I'm putting it on Abdul. I commend the British Jewish community. They are very clear about their way of life and people usually respect it. Why can't the Muslims be vocal like the Jewish community? Being clear about... So Abdul, how do you answer that question from our friend?
Okay. I'll answer the question. I will not accept the invitation.
You see, I would agree on this one. I would agree because this is a pride demo. Yeah, this is a pride demo. But if it was the general demo, you know, with everybody, you know, not just a pride demo, because look, we can't, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What are you saying? How are you going to answer this?
Kalam, the cat got your tongue, mate. Cat got your tongue. Okay, anyway, let's move the conversation on. I think we've been rambling on. Blimey, we've been talking about this for the whole hour. The hour is up. Okay, let's just have a quick roundup, though. There are some other things that have happened. Okay, so we know we're not going to talk about COVID. We know it's on the increase and everything else. But there is one other subject that I want to quickly raise before, you know, maybe 10, 15 minutes. I mean, obviously, we're still in a semi kind of lockdown and people aren't allowed to go on holidays and everything else. What is your opinion on people who are flying around the world, going on holidays and everything else during this pandemic? What do you guys make of it? I mean, I have a view and I'll share that, but I want to hear, what's your opinion on that?
So I think, like, look, if it's safe, you know, why not, innit? But, you know, being stuck in an aeroplane with people, that's a bit dangerous. I wouldn't. I've got the travel bug. Last few years, I've been going with the family here and there. It's been enjoyable. It's been fun. I like holidays, but I haven't been. We've resisted because it puts you in danger. It puts other people in danger. You might not even be allowed back in. Imagine the UK decides no more incoming flights. You'll be stuck, stranded, right? So I would recommend people just to stay home.
What's your view?
If I'm not wrong, I think the the virus spread, the big factor of the virus spread was people traveling from different countries and that. Yeah, so I think that if that is correct, I personally think it's a big contributor, and I don't think it's safe at the moment until it is made safe. So I'll be very cautious of actually. I want to go abroad. I really need to go abroad as well myself personally, but I don't think it's actually safe now, because now even in the UK it's getting very, very serious. In Europe it's serious as well, and in other countries it's serious, and people, people moving from one country to another country, it has been a factor to the increase, so I would avoid it definitely.
Yeah, no. That's exactly my position as well. And I was actually talking to someone about this, and they were saying, oh, it's really hard, for people staying at home all this time and not being able to travel and everything else. And I was thinking, like, it's really hard. We're in a pandemic. Like, this is actually, it is supposed to be really, really hard. And what it made me realize is actually, there is still that selfishness. I need to do what's good for me. Okay. And I put a post up there that the other day, that after 40 years, since Thatcherism, right, is basically decimated our society into an individualistic society, a capitalist individualistic society. Now all of a sudden we want people to think of others and not themselves. I mean, that's just stupid, isn't it? And that's what all the lockdown rules are. And what I'm seeing is more and more people, and it's not just Muslims, it's non-Muslims, everyone, more and more people, that's it. Oh, look, I'm fed up with staying at home. Oh, you don't know how hard it is for me. I'm just bored and everything else. I need a break. I need to do this. I need to do that. So it's always about I. There isn't that greater care. And we all know in this time, in pandemic, in these kind of situations, you should not be traveling. I mean, whether it's safe or not is debatable. But when you go over there, you might catch something, or you might be passing something because you've got it and you didn't know about it. Because there's so many different things. So why would you do it? But yet people are still doing it. And I think, look, it's irresponsible of governments for allowing holiday flights. Do you get it? It's just like how they did this eat out, help out nonsense. I understand, there was a need to help boost the economy and everything else, but they shouldn't have done that. It just made it even worse. But like, if you're not restricting flights, there are countries that are not allowing flights into their country. And simple as that. Yeah, why can't you do that? It's just holidays. I'm not talking about essential travel. Like, if people are on like humanitarian aid and all of that kind of stuff, that's very different. Okay, I'm talking about holidays. People going on holidays. Why can't we just restrict that? And it should have happened. But anyway, I'm glad we're all on the same page on that.
Holidays for any of us. Then there you go.
Yeah. But I do think you're. Yeah, I do think you're on point regarding individualism and the collectivism. Yeah, I think COVID-19 is a testament of how that is being challenged now, especially those of us who for decades have been kind of bashed with individualism and the concept of individualism. Now it's all about the collective. Now it's all about thinking about like everyone around us. So it is a challenge, and I think you're right. There are people out there who haven't and how can they when they've been given mixed messages as well. Yeah, and we have to weigh up life or economy. I mean, if we think life is important, then we have to put all our eggs in that basket here. Yeah, we can't think about the economy. And if we think economy, because all of us, the whole society is going to crumble because we're all going to start fighting each other. And I remember many years ago when the when the petrol strike took place. Yeah, many years ago, right? There was like queues, like 2-3 hour queue. And you should have seen the people kind of fight each other. Yeah, the animal came out of them. Yeah, they were really good and all that, but they couldn't wait for an hour. Yeah. Do you remember? Yeah. So we've got that animal inside us, right? So all it is that cage to come out, and then suddenly a tiger comes out. Yeah. And I think we're going to get into that situation. I think a lot of the politicians are realizing people are being depressed. They've got mental illnesses that it's on the rise now. A lot of health issues, people being isolated. So all these factors are there, and they just don't know how to control this. The virus is actually going to reach a lot of people. I think we're in that stage of herd immunity. It's happening, and all those bodge-ups are taking place. It's just you can't really protect yourself. If someone can really clearly tell me that, look, Abdul, if we do it this way, we're going to really save. I already know about 5-6 people have been positive. They're positive, and it's on an increase. I know one place at the Jannah.
Anyway, you go for it, Abdul.
I've got 5 or 6 people I already know that they've been COVID positive, right? So every day someone new I'm finding out is getting COVID, and people are now secretly going and posting these things in the letterbox to get their tests done and that. Some people are walking in. It's on the increase. We can actually physically see them. And people now about this app, this new app that's coming. Everywhere we go is this app. Get this app here, right? Now we haven't even talked about the app, yeah? You realize we haven't talked about the app. Do you know about it?
Don't get it. Don't do it. Stay away.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Now, if you get the app, it's probably give you a buzz. He's got COVID. He's got COVID here, right? And you've got to navigate around like Whitechapel, like who's got COVID. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, go on.
I hope someone recorded that rant of yours, because it reminds me of the Boris Johnson video where they cut and pasted different bits of it.
We didn't hear much of that.
So much in there. What's happened with the internet?
Well, I'm stuck in the bedroom. I'm stuck up in the bedroom today, innit? Because
the
internet is strong thanks to him. So, No, I have to because I go traveling everywhere and things like that. Yeah, my mum's very elderly, so I've got to make sure that we don't.
Callum's yawning. Listen,
yeah,
Callum,
so let's conclude the show.
Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah.
What time you
donated? We
do tomorrow.
So tomorrow is
Cambridge
ELM bike ride. You guys haven't donated on my page. I've nearly raised £2,000. Alhamdulillah.
I already donated to East London Mosque, brother.
No, but you should donate via me, bro. Even a pound.
See, all of these people. Are you now an agent? See, I don't need to go to an agent.
Listen, send me a link.
No agent.
Callum,
straight to Allah.
Send me a link.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Send me a link and I'll donate something.
Yeah, I'll send it for the phone. Yeah,
no, seriously. What time are you guys? What's the plan? Just tell us.
So the plan is we're going to meet at the East London Mosque for 7 o'clock. We're going to go to Cambridge. So it's from Cambridge too. So they're going to send our bikes in a Luton van, and we're going to take the train to Cambridge. And then by about 10 o'clock, 10:15, we're going to start coming back to London on our bikes, inshallah.
All right. So
40 riders, 45 riders. So quite fun.
Right. Great. So we look forward to getting updates from you.
Make sure you keep it distance.
Yeah, inshallah. Make dua, inshallah.
All right, inshallah.
Hopefully I'll be all right for tomorrow.
Inshallah. Get some rest. It's important that you get some rest, and make sure you have a good breakfast. What I would recommend for you is porridge with some banana.
Inshallah, I've got that. I've got porridge, I've got banana, and I was going to have a boiled egg. Because I'm going to be...
I wouldn't do the egg. It's not... You don't need protein in now. You need protein afterwards.
Because the wind's going to be blowing this way behind me, and there's going to be 5 riders, and I just want to see if they're just all going to fall off when I do a little whoopsie, innit?
All right, inshallah. Right, brothers and sisters, jazakumullah khair for tuning in. Sorry we've gone over a little bit. And we'll see you next Friday, 10:30, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum from me.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum from me.